A dereliction of duty, critical delays, a devastating misdiagnosis. Tonight, grieving parents are demanding answers and action after a hospital's systemic failures stole the life of their son.
Hey! Are you happy in your new chair? Look. Yeah.
This is 2-year-old Joe Massa.
Hello.
Bye.
Joe loved dinosaurs and exploring in his garden. On September 14th, Joe's parents, Elouise and Danny, took their son, who had been vomiting through the night, to Northern Beaches Hospital Emergency Department.
The system let down this family in the absolute worst way possible.
Joe was suffering from significant hypovolemia, a condition that occurs when the body loses too much fluid. The standard treatment, IV fluid resuscitation. Joe's heart rate, above 180 beats per minute, was dangerously high. He was pale and flat. Despite this, a nurse triaged Joe as a low-priority Category 3 patient, requiring treatment within 30 minutes instead of the red zone Category 2, which triggers treatment within just 10.
The emergency department was not overcrowded, staffing was adequate, so there is a concern as to how the triaging went so wrong.
For more than 3 hours, Joe's parents say critical warning signs, their child's skyrocketing heart rate, limpness, rash and loss of consciousness were missed. That, despite his excruciating pain, Joe was denied pain relief and for 2.5 hours, a bed. Joe's mum's repeated pleas for an IV drip ignored.
I didn't get to cherish the last moments with Joe because I was too busy trying to find adequate care for Joe. And as a mother, you have to do everything. You have to fight to the last second. As Joe is dying in the bed, unaccompanied, not on a drip, left there to cruelly die.
At 10:47 a.m, little Joe went into cardiac arrest.
I got there, Elle was on the phone screaming. Joe was just lying on the bed by himself. There was no one else around. And I touched Joe on the face and said, "It's okay, mate, you'll be okay." He vomited up and went into a heart attack.
He couldn't be saved.
Can you say Dada?
No.
A review conducted by the hospital identified multiple failures, including failure to recognise deterioration and failure to respond to parental concern.
Unfortunately, one of the most damning things coming out of the report is the failure to listen to mum.
Northern Beaches Hospital is operated by private healthcare provider Healthscope. The nurse and doctor in charge of Joe believed to still be working in the New South Wales health system. Today, his parents are demanding accountability and urgent reform. Their son betrayed, they say, by a system that failed at every level.
Elouise and Danny are with us now to talk about this a bit more. Guys, before we get into the details of the story with you, first of all, just tell us a bit about your son. What was Joe like?
Joe was the most beautiful, bubbly boy. He loved dinosaurs, loved running around with his older brother and sister, had the most infectious smile, and his hugs were like nothing you've ever felt before, especially when he would give the hug, nestle in to the nook of your neck and then pat you. He would be the one patting us, and it was just the most beautiful, beautiful hugs.
I thought that amongst the medical fraternity there was a feeling now that parental instincts, a mother's instincts, should be respected and listened to, and yet critical warning signs were missed that you were trying to alert them to. Why do you think that happened?
On Healthscope's actual triaging of 1 to 4-year-olds, it says red zone, and then in bold it has parental concern. So it's part of their policy that they have to understand and listen to parental concern. He was in the red zone. He had a massive heart rate, and Elle was advocating for care for hours in there, and they just ignored it. There's the REACH protocol, which the government is government policy that the hospital has signed up to, and will fail to give any information on that.
We are calling on a statewide campaign about the REACH protocol, which is a government initiative implemented well over 10 years ago and has fallen to the wayside, so that every single person in New South Wales has at the back of their psyche, they're empowered and they know what to do, what actions to take when they are feeling unsafe in a hospital and when they want to escalate a rapid response pathway. So it shouldn't be another box that hospitals tick and put a poster up on the wall. There should be training for staff to also let patients know, and also a text message sent to every single person that walks through any emergency department in New South Wales, so that they are given contact details at their fingertips to make that call and to escalate when they're feeling that they are in an unsafe situation.
Danny, you're calling for accountability. What do you want to happen?
So accountability from the top to the bottom of the Northern Beaches Hospital, an independent review into that emergency department. And we want answers and accountability. Accountability can't just be having a serious adverse event report given and some recommendations that everyone goes on their happy way, collects their paychecks, and Joe just becomes a number in the past. What happened to Joe wasn't just an isolated mistake. It wasn't a red or blue button being pushed. From the moment he got there to the moment he had a cardiac arrest, 3 hours and 47 minutes later, not one opportunity or not one interaction that hospital or its staff policies, procedures was followed correctly or implemented correctly, or the correct diagnosis or action was taken. It's a systemic failure, and my fear and Elle's fear is that if that happened on that one day, it's more than likely going to happen again, and we don't want that hospital, it's our local community, to be an unsafe environment for our family and friends. We want them to be able to have trust in the hospital system and believe if they take their child there that they're going to get care and they're going to get listened to, and the mother or the parent isn't going to feel helpless and trapped in an emergency department ever again.
Danny and Elle, your loss is so unimaginable for most people. How do you uncurl yourself from the fetal position to make this claim, to advocate for other parents so that they will never be in your situation? How do you get this strength?
We have 2 other children, and so that alone forces you to get out of bed and to continue to put one foot in front of the other, out of pure love for them, but also so much love for Joe. Joe would want us to be still being the best parents that we can ever be. And Joe would want us to be making meaningful change for his tragic loss.
What does life look like now for you guys without your boy?
It has and will always have a hole in it. There's something missing, and that's Joe in our life. It's tremendously hard every day, but as Elle said, we've got 2 other young children that we need to be the best we can to shape their lives so that they can have the best and happiest life that we can give them.
I think everyone can see that your pain is matched by your strength. It's hard to speak about this, we can tell, but thank you so much for doing so, and all the best with it from here.
Thank you.